So with the help of old Wayne, I got my Isuzu donut truck in the shop. And since I'm only interested in the bottom bits, I guess we're gonna have to start tearing it apart. Well, I think this load bed is loose now, but Wayne has abandoned me in my hour of need. He's gone off to fix a tractor or something. So I'm gonna go see now if what I can do is just here all by myself. Let's give it a shot. Well, that went pretty straightforward. Now I gotta dream up a way to get this piece of shit out of my shop. Well, the load box came off easy enough. It was just basically 8 difficult bolts. But getting a cab off here is going to take quite a bit more work. I think I will salvage the seat belts. They're always handy to have around. I found the missing ace of spades. It was lying under the seat. Hey, this has got to be a sign of good luck, man. And paracetamol and sippy sherbet in the glove box. Some forensic evidence regarding the previous owner. And the stone was also in the glove box. What's that all about? Secret weapon? So I think I want the steering column. It's actually quite nice because it's tiltable. So I've already ripped out all the dashboard pieces here so I can have access. But I think before I undo here, I better go and undo it by the steering box first. And yes, I've already donated some skin to the project. So the truck didn't have an engine and a gearbox in, so I don't have to stress about that. So I'm just going to rip out here what I think I might need. I've already undone the brake booster, brake master cylinder, so I definitely want that. I'll get the booster out later when I undo the pedal assembly. I probably want the fuse box, some brake pipes, bits and pieces. I'll go through it, and then I've got to undo my steering column. Okay, that's the steering column undone. This Isuzu has got a power steering, so that's quite nice. I think I'm going to reuse this. We'll see. Got you! So I wonder if this piece of plastic will come out now. I want to see what's behind it. Still stuck somewhere. Oh yes, it must be the cables for the heater controls. Yes, I can see them. Luckily we don't have to put it back again. I think I'm just gonna cut these things off. Here goes one. Here goes another one. What is this box? There's all sorts of strange boxes in here. Okay, I've got to undo some wires before I can get this thing out completely. Right, I finally got everything undone. It can go out. So this is actually just a relatively basic, so we call it a mini truck from the mid-90s. Some of my mates call it a pickup. Here in South Africa we call it a bakkie. But man, just look at how incredibly complex it is. I mean, there's so much going on here, so much wiring and harnesses. This whole car building industry is actually incredible if you think about it. Just look at all these wires. And it's like things here. I mean, like this. It's got like a computer type plug on it. What the hell is it? I think it might actually be one of those satellite tracking devices or something like that. I don't know. And I don't actually care either. 6 bolts left to undo, and then I can take the scab off. There's one here, there's one here, one in the front, and then same on the other side. So some of you guys have been asking for another language lesson. So here goes. We call this in South Africa, in all languages, whether you speak Afrikaans, English, Zulu, Xhosa, it doesn't matter, we call it a bakkie. That is a typical South African slang word for a mini truck or a pickup, a bakkie. Do you want me to spell it? B-A-K-K-I-E. That's how we spell it, a bakkie. So the results of my efforts thus far: a torn down bakkie, a pile of junk on my floor, a dirty shop, tools everywhere, and grazed skin. But we're making progress. So all of that is junk I don't want. Lots of plastic bits and pieces and what have you, even old seats. Had it. And then here on this side, this is what I've scavenged and I'm planning to keep. I've got my tilt steering column, I've got the brake booster and everything surrounding that, some brake pipes, seat belts, fuse boxes, all sorts of stuff. I even took out the wiring harness, because I can pick that apart to replenish my supply of auto wire for when I want to build another custom wiring harness one day. So this might be just junk to some, probably because it's not new. But waste not, want not, man. I mean, I grew up in a time when stuff still had value. Now it's just consumerism and debt and instant gratification and catalog shopping online. For me, there's a lot I can use here. Why must I go buy new wire if I've got some good wire here? Same with a lot of the other stuff here. The steering column is going to work very well for me. Got my pedal assemblies here. I've even scavenged the old aircon parts. I mean, these aluminum pipes. It's interesting stuff, man. I can build something with that. So yeah, I don't throw stuff away easily. I mean, and in the long run, yeah, I collect a lot of junk. But it also gives me a supply of all sorts of interesting bits and pieces. And it saves me a lot of money. Each to his own, I guess. Well, I need space to get the scab off, so I better get rid of this stuff. No, I love my junk. But this plastic shit, it does not feature in my world. So yeah, I'm gonna just have to take it to the tip or something, I guess. Don't really like that idea, but what else do you do with it? Okay, so I've got it rigged up to the chain block. It should come off. Let's find out. Well, that went well enough. Let me get this front bumper off and get that fuel tank out as well. Then I can push this thing outside for a bit of a wash. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Nope. Ah, damn it. I'm gonna have to get the jack and bring that ass around. Okay, so let's get the jack in under the back. There we go. Try again. Hoop. Right. Something wrong with the steering geometry up here. I have to check that out. So the first thing I noticed that's all messed up is that these two rims actually have different offsets. So this gap here and here is not the same because of that. If I measure this side, I'm not sure that you can see it on the camera, but let's measure it here. So here I'm getting about 80 millimeters, and this side is like 50 millimeters. So there's a 30 millimeter difference, a little bit more than 1 inch, which is caused by the offsets of these two different rims. Let me show you what I mean. So let's just do a real basic check here. I'm going to put the straight edge across here, and I'm going to measure from that face where the wheel bolts hold the rim onto the hub. And I'm measuring 70 millimeters roughly on this side. Let's go check the other side. And here on this side, you can see the rim even looks different. If I do the same thing, I measure 95. So that's a difference of, what did I say? Yeah, 25 millimeters, 1 inch. That makes sense. So these two rims have got different offsets. So let's at least fix that by putting on two rims that is the same. It's a good start. I still got these two wheels from that Nissan hardbody. They are the same, and the Nissan hardbody's bolt pattern fits on the Isuzu as well. It's a 6-stud. I can't remember the PCD now. I think it's, no, I'm going to talk nonsense, but they do fit. So let's get these wheels on here. Now what did I do with that socket? It's disappeared. Okay, I found it. Some pretty bad play here somewhere. I'll have to check that out. Right, so we've got two wheels that's the same on here now. So you can't see it there on the camera, but it looks to me like the toe-in is also completely out. So I'm just going to do a very rough check here by just measuring from the center groove on that tire to the center groove on this tire, and I'm getting about 137 centimeters. So now I'm going to do the same in the back. It's just a very rough check, hooking it into the center groove on that one, there, and 147 roughly. So that's a difference of a lot. What was it, 137, 147? Just, that's a hell of a lot. Can it be? Let me double check that. Yep. That's a difference of 100 millimeters. Holy cow. So there's definitely something seriously wrong with the steering geometry up here. We'll have to do some further forensic investigation. So I want to try and show you what I saw. So I've got this ladder here, so I'm going to grab the camera and climb up the ladder and shoot down. And then maybe you can see that towing issue. Okay, so I'm standing on top of the ladder, looking down. And you can see what I mean, eh? Those two wheels are not parallel to each other. Just trying to see if I can get my hand in there. There we go. So this one is in comparison to that one. Yeah. Definitely not right. I'm starting to think something might be bent, but it doesn't matter anyway because I'm planning to take this apart completely. Thinking of doing some extensive modifications. Slight spoiler alert. Well then, I've got a good base for the next project. Just got to decide what that's going to be. Still have a few options, still really haven't made up my mind. I need to get that cab out of my shop and then we can see what's going to happen next. Thanks for hanging with me, I enjoyed it. I'll see you oaks in the next video. Until then, have a lekker one.